All right. Hello, baby cakeys. Thank you for coming back to my channel and watching me chat with y'all. Before I get into what I'm going to talk about, because it's so cripplingly embarrassing that I'm actually saving you a little bit of secondhand embarrassment right now. So, let me stall a little bit because you're going to thank me later. All right. See this little water thing right here? I've lived in Arizona for almost 5 years. No, not almost. 5 years now, going on 6. She's getting old. I've lived in Arizona for about 5 years now, and the water here is not safe to drink. It has a lot of chemicals in it, and it tastes really salty. Okay, I came from Montana, and our water is crisp. It's clean. It's straight from the stream. Bars. And so when I came here, I was shocked that the water tasted like actual asshat. Like it kind of tastes like a bunch of people like had really sweaty cracks and like went and sat in a pond for a little bit. That's what it tastes like. And if you have ice from that same water, it gets like really gritty and you can taste like the little particles in it. It's not good for you. But I am very sad and embarrassed to admit that I have been drinking this water from the tap for the past 5 years. Straight from the tap. As long as it's like kind of cold, it doesn't really bother me, but it's not good for you. And I've had a lot of like stomach issues and issues with fatigue. And so I'm like, maybe I'm slowly like poisoning myself with this tap water. So I decided for this whole week, I was going to drink only actual like safe water to drink for humans. So I've been getting water, like jugs, the entire week, and we're going to see. Honestly, though, yesterday I had so much energy. I was full of life, full of love, and I was levitating over crowds of people. Quick little update before I get into the thing that I'm going to talk about. I'm working. I got a job. I'm working for 2 weeks on like a work interview with a plastic surgeon. So a big switch from where I was at, but we're going to see where life takes us, all right? I'm saddled up and I'm ready for the ride. Ye doggy. We're going to see if this tap water magically heals my gut, heals my fatigue, but I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling pretty great. And then last night I realized I didn't have any water jugs left. So I did have to drink out of the tap water and I almost choked, y'all. It was disgusting. I could taste the particles this time. It felt like there was like pieces of dirt almost in my water. And I was like, how did I deal with this for so long? It's like when you finally get contacts or glasses after being blind for years and you're like, oh my God, I can see the shapes. I can see the geometry of the world. That's how my mouth was. It was like, oh my God, crystal clear water is so good. And now I can't go back, which is probably good for my health. But damn, it was so much cheaper. If you know what I mean. Anytime I was thirsty, I'd just go to that little sink right there. No more. But anyways, I've been wanting to tell this story for a while, but I was always scared to tell it because I was like, what if I jinx this? And like, when you have a little situationship or something with a boy and then you tell like your friends or your mom or something and then everything goes to shit. That's kind of what I was, So I didn't even tell people about this guy for the longest time because I was like, there's a chance. No, after what I did, I completely ruined the chance of anything happening ever. And I'm kind of okay with that because I'm like, it's funny at this point. And now that I know that like, it's out the door, it's funny and I can talk about it and laugh and giggle, whatever. And I don't have to be like, yeah, it sucks. Doesn't that suck though? When like you're talking to somebody and you're like, oh my God, things are going great. And then you tell like one person about it. And then all of a sudden they stop replying to your texts. And you're like, about that. Let me take a few steps back, okay? So, this story takes place this summer. So, my last job, it always goes back to jobs. I feel like I'm always quitting jobs. I feel like I'm always leaving jobs or getting fired or quitting. Guys, I'm just 20. I'm in my 20s, okay? I'm exploring the world and I did get a better opportunity from this job. So, my first job I got out of college, I was quitting and it was my last day. And my last day was on a Wednesday. I met my best friend, Mary, at this job. It was both of our first jobs out of college, and we both quit. Because it was, I'm not going to go into that because I left on good terms. But it was my last day, and my next job that I already had lined up because I was leaving this job for another one. See, it was actually a nice situation where I had a job lined up after, you know. Anyways, it was a Wednesday. How many times do I have to say that? Do you guys know what day of the week it was? So that night, I was like, oh, I don't have work Thursday, Friday, and I start my new job next Monday. I got 4 days off, Gary. Let's go crazy. So I called my best friend, Mary. She is my BFF. I love this woman. She's my soulmate. She is me. When we are together, it's like, oh God, here we go. Like you can't control the energy and the goof that comes out of us. But I had met up with her, and that night we were like, let's go out. Let's celebrate this new job. Let's celebrate leaving the old and in with the new. Like, let's go out, have a good girly time, okay? So we decided to go out in downtown Phoenix, and it was a Wednesday. So we were like, this isn't going to be like a poppin' night or anything. It's just going to be for us. Like, we're going to go out. We're going to have fun. So we're popping around some bars and some clubs in downtown Phoenix, having a good time. We're both like turned to the max. She did have work the next day, but that just goes to show how much of a ride or die she is. She was like, girl, we are going out. I don't care where I have to be in the morning. We are going out. We are celebrating you. We are celebrating this new journey, this new time of your life. Let's go. So we're out at these clubs, and it's getting late. It's around midnight, and we were like, do we go home or do we try this one last club? And it's a smaller club, but we were like, the night cannot end now. Like, we are celebrating. Like, let's go. So we get in line at like 12:30, and the clubs close at 2, so we only had about an hour and a half. We get inside the club, we're dancing, we're drinking, and that night, that club was kind of popping. For a Wednesday in the middle of Phoenix, it didn't really make a lot of sense, but I was like, all right, whatever. And so while we're at this club, I see this man, and he looked very familiar. I was like, where have I seen him before? I've seen him somewhere. And I kind of look at Mary and I was like, that one, that man. I feel like a lot of girls do this, but when you go out that night, you kind of like pick somebody. We're like, that's going to be like my goal. I know that sounds bad, not like goal, but your goal could be to like talk to them, to approach them, to have a conversation with them, to get their number. Like not goal of like, I'm going to conquer this man. No, it's just like, that's my goal. Like that is the one that I'm looking out for tonight. That's the guy that I'm like, you know, when you're standing in line for the bathroom, you're like, where is he? But, you know, so he was kind of like the goal, okay? And it was also because I felt like I had met him before. He looked really familiar. I was like, I've seen this guy before. So finally, the end of the night comes, and you know me and my shy ass, I did not say anything to him because he was with another group of guys, and I was like, no, I don't want to, like, I'm sorry, but groups of men are scary, no matter how turnt you are. And so they're closing down the club, and I was like, it's now or never, it's now or never. But my tactic was to turn and talk to one of his friends in his friend group and kind of get the conversation going, and then maybe like I would get his attention that way. Okay, I'm going to call the guy that was like my goal. I'm going to call him Mike. So, instead of talking to Mike, I turn to his friend, who I'm going to call Jordan, okay? I turn to Jordan and I start talking to him to kind of, you know, infiltrate, if you will. And the more I'm talking to Jordan, I'm like, hold up. I thought Mike was the main course. Hold up, baby cakes. You are the main course. He's just the appetizer. Because the more I talked to this man, I was like, wow, he is actually, like, he's super fine. Because I didn't really see him before. I didn't really notice him because I was just looking at Mike the whole time. But when I turned to Jordan to talk to him, I was like, hold up. So I'm talking to him. I'm like, this man is so fine. And he had like a swagger to the way that he talked where I was like, oh, do some ASMR for me, baby. So I continue talking to Jordan. And at this point, the club had kicked us out. They were like, y'all got to go home. It is 2:00. Get your asses out of here. We're standing on the curb outside of the club. And my drunk ass was trying to convince them, this whole group of men, to come to my place so I could keep talking to Jordan. There was about 4 of them in total. Mike, Jordan, and their 2 other friends. And Mary was like, I'm going to go home, like baby cakes. And okay, this may sound unsafe, but we were talking to them for about an hour, and I feel like I have a good judgment, and so does Mary, okay? She would not send me off with any randos. But basically, don't yell at me, but I convinced them, all 4 of these men, to come to my apartment. This tiny-ass studio with 1 single couch and a bed. And I may have lied and said I had alcohol and food. I had neither. I had kimchi in my fridge, and that was about it. I called the Uber, and I was like, I'm going to my apartment. You guys want to come? Da-da-da-da-da, trying to convince him to come over. And I was kind of giving Jordan, like, the eyes of, like, ooh, that's kind of terrifying. The eyes. I was like, come over. Come to my place. Come chill. And so he was like, come on, guys. Like, he was trying to convince his friends, and they were like, I don't know. Like, we should probably just go home. It's 2. And he's like, no. Like, let's go. So we all get in an Uber, and we Uber over to my little studio apartment. And Mary was like, you have fun, baby cakes. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to sleep. I got work in the morning, but you have fun. So little old Serena here brings 4 random men back to this apartment. And while that may seem dumb, I'm telling you, I have a good sense of judgment. And if they were weirdos, I would have been like, no. But I felt like they had a safe vibe to them, which I know sounds so stupid to some of y'all. And maybe I am stupid, okay? But let me make my choices and regret them if I need to. I don't regret this one, okay? I bring them all over, and the first thing that happens is my door doesn't unlock. So they were like, girl, do you even live here? I was like, yes, I swear. So after we sat outside my door for about 5 minutes, I finally got it open. And then we came inside, and I was like, do you guys want to watch music videos? So 2 of his friends sat on this couch. So Mike was here, another friend was here, and then another friend was on this part of the bed, and Jordan was right here on the corner of the bed, okay? I had nowhere to sit. I mean, I could have sat on the bed, but I wanted to look at Jordan. So I sat right there, like right behind the couch. I just sat right in front of my dishwasher on the floor, and we watched music videos. And this was the turning point for me. Ladies, this was the turning point for me. Only a few of you will get this, but this was the turning point for me. As I'm sitting here, we're watching music videos on my TV, which is right here. I have no alcohol, no food, but I was like, I got music, I got videos, what y'all want to do? They're like, do you have any food? And I was like, I got kimchi. How your gut health been? And they kind of giggled at that, but they're like, damn, this bitch really has nothing here, nothing to offer, but... So we turned on some music videos, and I told them, play Bad Bunny, play Peso Pluma. Okay, well, Jordan right here. And this whole time, I'm drunk and googly-eyed at this man. I'm like, me staring, it was not subtle at all. I was like, because let me just tell you, this man was beautiful. He had the, like, sexiest voice, and there was something, like, mysterious about him that I couldn't put my finger on. I was like, there's something about you. I can't, I've never experienced it before, but wow. So we're sitting here watching music videos, and they put on a Peso Pluma music video. Tell me why Jordan sings this song word for word. Ladies, he spoke Espanol. He spoke full Espanol. What the fuck? I was like, I remember too. I was pretty drunk, but I remember I looked at him and I was like, wow, oh my God, everybody needs to leave right now. So they stayed for about an hour and a half, and then they were like, all right, we gotta go. Like, it's getting late. There was no alcohol here, no food. What are we gonna do? Suck on some kimchi and watch Bad Bunny? I mean, I'd do it if I got to spend more time with Jordan, but so they were like, all right, girly, we're gonna go. Thanks for having us. So this is the thing. This is my issue, y'all, is I get super shy and super nervous around some people. And I also am like so scared of ever like, what is the word? I guess like being vulnerable and approaching a man and not knowing if he likes me. Obviously, I mean, even now I still question. I'm like, did Jordan like me that night? I don't know. And so as they're leaving, he kind of like gives me a look of like, you know, and I got so nervous that when he stopped at the door and looked at me, I said, have a good night. And I closed the door. And right when I closed it, I ran to my bed and I was like, I like screamed into my pillow. Like, why didn't I ask him to stay? Why didn't I like, not even for anything like weird. I know my family watches this, but not even for anything weird. I just wanted to be in his presence. I just wanted to hang out with him. I just wanted to keep watching music videos, but I let him go. And even worse, I closed the door in his face. He literally like stopped at the door and I was like, I'm an idiot. I just got nervous. I didn't know what to say. So I was like, have a good night. The next day, I was so ill over this man. I don't know what kind of spell or witchery he put over me, but I was like, oh, why did I not make a move? Like, that was so, you lost it, Serena. I didn't even know if I had his number or anything. So I was like, well, I might never see him again. Couldn't even remember his name. So that's great. Because I got a call from that number around like 2 a.m. because that's when we were all getting kicked out of the club. And I remember I got his number as we were walking out of the club. So I was like, okay, great. I have his number. So all day I was like, maybe he'll text me. Maybe he'll text me. Maybe he'll text me. Does not text me. So I was a little butthurt. I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm not texting him first. Then, mind you, this is my fun weekend, all right? I have no work. I'm a free unemployed woman, which is a common theme in this channel for whatever reason. So this is now Thursday night. I've told Mary and I have had a full debrief on the night. She's like, how was it? Like, did anything happen? And then she's like, Serena, why don't you do anything? I'm like, I get scared. I get so scared. So we had a little debrief. And then she texted me later and she was like, hey, my boyfriend, his friends have a table up in Glendale, which is far as from Phoenix. It's like a 30-minute drive. And I was like, you know what? It's a Thursday. I don't have work the next day. This never really happens. So like, let's do it. Let's go to Glendale. We go to Glendale. And as we're driving there, I am unloading this whole story to Mary, to her boyfriend. I love her boyfriend too. He is amazing. They both watch my videos. I love you guys. Mary and I together are a lot, but he always can handle it. And he's just like, whatever, y'all do what you got to do. So I'm kind of unloading everything that happened with this man. And Mary was like, why don't you just text him? Like, just text him. It doesn't even have to be anything serious. Just be like, hey, we had fun last night. I was so ill about this dude. I was like, I think I have to. If I don't do anything, I'm going to like hurt myself. Not actually. Calm down. So we're sitting there and I was like, all right, I'm going to text him. I just said something along the lines of like, hey, last night was fun. It was good to meet you guys or something like that. And right when I texted that, phone in purse off, was not going to check notifications the entire night. Okay? So we're in Glendale, like I mentioned, and his friends had a table there. We get to the table was lame. Okay? Like there was nobody there. It was dead, whatever. So they were like, guys, this is lame. Like we should just go to Old Town. Old Town is in Scottsdale if you're not from Arizona, and it's like the big club district. It's where Johnny Manziel gets lit quite often. It's Super Bowl weekend when I'm filming this. I just saw an article that him and Glenn Powell were partying at Casa Amigos the other night. Bitch, I was just there 2 weeks ago. You kidding me? So we're driving to Scottsdale. And as we're driving, I finally check my phone because I've had it like stored away for almost an hour now. I check my phone. He did not text back. And I was like, fuck. And so the whole night I'm like in my head like, oh my God, he didn't text back, whatever. So we get to Scottsdale and these men are struggling to get a table. I felt bad because like, I genuinely don't care about a table. I really don't. I'll stand, I'll dance, I'll do what I got to do. I don't want a table, but they were dead set on getting this table. So we were just sitting outside this club for like 45 minutes. And I was like, guys, let's just go in. So me and Mary went in because we were like, we're just going to go chill. Like we don't need to stand outside while they get the table. And we didn't even really care about the table. So then as we're like in line for the club, I check my phone again. Jordan has not said anything. And I tell Mary this, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, I shouldn't have texted him. Like, this is so embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. We get to the front of the line. We get in the club. And as we walk in the club, I was like, let me just go order a drink. It's whatever. I go to the bar to order a drink, and I look across the bar from me. And who do I see? Jordan. Jordan was right across the bar from me. And immediately I aborted mission. No drink needed any longer, okay? Because now I look like a fucking psycho texting this guy and then showing up at the place that he's at. Like, so I was like, I gave Mary a look where she knew, like this girl, I can look at her and she knows immediately what's going on. She was like, what? She looks over and she sees Jordan. She goes, oh my God. And I just felt like such a freak because I had just texted him and he still didn't say anything. I checked my phone. He still didn't say anything. So obviously, like, he just was not responding. And so I started to have a panic attack in the middle of the club because I thought I looked like such a psycho, okay, texting this guy and then showing up where he was. So I started freaking out. And because Mary is such an empath, she started having a panic attack because I was having a panic attack. Like she could feel. So she was like, oh my God, Serena, we got to figure this out. So we're like standing at the bar, like holding each other, like, oh my God. And then we go to the bathroom because we were like, this is bad. This is bad. And I was like, what the fuck? Why is he here? It's a Thursday night. Like, why are you at the bar on a Thursday night? I know why I was, but this was like a special occasion. And then we remembered in the back of our mind, the reason. Let's go back to, y'all remember Mike. Remember how I said he looked familiar? I remembered Mike because he worked at one of the clubs that we go to a lot. And he works like security or something like that. He just works at one of the clubs. So I had seen him before. We hadn't met. I had just seen him when I was at this club. So then I realized Mike works at this club. So he was probably bringing all his friends there because they could get like drinks and stuff. So that's why he was there, because Mike worked at the club. So all of his friends were there. Okay, sorry, y'all. I had to change lighting because it's starting to get dark. I've been talking so damn long. I had to add some Latin, a little ring light to our vibes here. So after this night, I was a mess because the rest of the night I avoided Jordan like the plague because I was like, I look like a psycho. Like I can't go and say anything to him. I just texted him. Where's my cover? So the rest of the night I avoided Jordan like the plague. I was like, he's going to think I'm a psycho if I come up to him because I just texted him too, like an hour ago. And now I show up where he is. So we ended up leaving the club. The night was kind of a bust anyways. But I woke up the next morning with the worst anxiety of my life. And not like, I didn't even drink that much. I was just like, everything that had transpired these past couple of days, I was like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't even tell. I was like, does this guy like me? Does he not? You know? And it's because I still didn't get a text back from him. Like, he still didn't say anything. So I was like, you know what? Let's not take this to heart. If he's out on a Wednesday and Thursday, he probably goes out a lot. He probably gets a lot of girls' numbers, and he probably just like, you know, this is the huge. So I really wasn't trying to take it to heart, okay? But then, all right, y'all, we ended up going out again that weekend because, listen, this is not a norm for us. Usually we're one and done throughout the week. We're chilling. We're good. We get our fix. But this was my week of being unemployed. These were my 4 days of no work. So we were like, we're going balls to the wall. So we go back Saturday night to this club that we saw Jordan at originally. I wanted to see him, okay? I wanted to see him. I wanted to see if he'd be there again. And I'm not even going to lie. Like, Mary kind of wanted me to see him too. So we were like, let's go back Saturday night. We were like, oh, he won't be there. But in the back of our minds, we're like, he better be there. So we were just kind of hoping, you know? So we go back to this club on Saturday. I'm not really seeing him anywhere. And I was like, you know what? This is probably good. Like, let's just have a fun night. Let's get turned. Let's get lit. Let's dance. Let's party. And not worry about this dude. Well, that was real hard to do because turns out we walk into the club. He's the fucking bartender. He was the bartender, y'all. Jordan was the bartender. Also, mind you, we've been to this club a bunch of times and I've never noticed him as a bartender. So I'm like, interesting. So Mary and I are freaking the fuck out. We looked at each other like, no shot. He works here too. So then it started to make more sense. I was like, that's why he was there on a Wednesday. Like, he probably works on the weekends. And Jordan, Mike, and all their friends work there. Like, okay, it's making sense. But I was just kind of like, oh God. Like, he's the bartender. So we go up to the bar. And I'm freaking. I'm freak-a-leaking. All right, Gary? I'm freaking. And we see him. And we kind of positioned ourselves to be in his section so he would, like, come up to us and ask what we wanted to drink. But I was freaking out so bad that I couldn't even look at him. I couldn't even look in his direction because I was just like, this is so weird. He probably thinks I'm so weird because of the text. And then this, like, now I know he works here. So he's like, wow, this girl's like stalking my work. Like, what's going on? And so Mary and I are standing at the bar and she looks over to order a drink and he kind of gives her a look of shock. Like, oh my God, like, what are you doing here? And then he got like pulled to the side to do something. And so it was like a quick look, and she was like, Serena. He looked at me like shocked and then looked at you shocked. And I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, what am I supposed to interpret from that? Like, I don't know. It was just a weird night where I was like, so he doesn't want to talk to us. I don't, like, the vibes were just fucking weird, y'all. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So Mary and I go back to this club a couple weeks later. And this time we actually had a conversation with Jordan. He saw me and Mary and he recognized us and he was like, oh my God, like, hi guys, like, what are you doing here? Like, it's been so long, blah, blah, blah. And Mary, being the goofy bitch that she is, she loves to fuck with people. Like, when we go and get like coffee with one another, a lot of times you go to Dutch Bros, they'll always like make you stop and they'll be like, try it first and let me know if it tastes good. Every time she tries it, she's like, oh, it's disgusting. And they're like, oh my God, what? She's like, no, I'm kidding. It's delicious. Like, she just likes to goof with people like that because she feels like everyone takes themselves so seriously. Like, why not be that moment of like, oh, relief in the day? That's why I love that woman. So she decided to goof on Jordan and she was like, boy, can you believe it's been a year since we met? Mind you, we met him like 2 months ago. And he was like, oh my God, right? So right when he said that, Mary and I were cracking up because we were like, does he really think it's been a year since we, like, maybe he's not, maybe that's why he didn't text me back. Maybe he's not all there. Or I don't know. But no shade to Jordan, okay? But we ended up actually talking to him that night and it wasn't like a weird like staring and then staring back and so it felt good, but it also like reignited my crush on him. So I was like, oh, here we go. And then, y'all, this is where it gets MFing juicy AF. Okay, this is like the part of the story that I've most been looking forward to telling because I'm telling you, the universe brings us together in the weirdest situations that we shouldn't be brought together in. I mean, obviously some of them are purposeful if I'm showing up at the club that I know he works at, but this time I was like, there's no way. So my old job, I used to work for an apartment complex and a social club, and we were hosting an event. We partnered with this brand that does like pop-up shops for thrifting. So it's like a big vintage market, basically. And we were hosting the event at the apartment/social club, okay? So this whole event, I'm working the front desk. So I'm checking people in, scanning IDs, making sure that they're 21s, they can drink, and all that good stuff. We were about a couple hours into this event. It was kind of like dying down a bit. It was close. I think they ended it at 9, and so it was closer to like 7:30 at this point. Not a lot of people were showing up. And I'm sitting at the front desk, and I'm with my 2 coworkers who were helping me check in. And a bunch of the staff had come down just to check on how we were doing, what the numbers looked like, things like that. So there's about 5 of us sitting behind the front desk, just like chatting, whatever. And it's dead at this point. Like, nobody's checking in. So we were kind of just like, on our phones. And I look up and I see 2 people about to walk into the building. And my heart immediately dropped because I knew immediately who it was. The door opens and in walks Jordan and Mike. And you guys, this is so embarrassing and vulnerable for me to admit, so don't make fun of me, but the way I reacted is not good. They walked in and I kind of pretended like I was busy doing something because I was like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do? I turn and I act all surprised. I was like, oh my God, long time no see. What are you guys doing here? In my mind, I'm puking, farting, shitting, like ass out. I was freaking out, bro, because I hadn't seen him so long and I haven't seen him in a setting that wasn't like a club. So I was like, oh my God. And it was just shocking. Like, I didn't expect him to walk into my place of work. Okay. So they kind of gave me a look of like, oh, it's you. What's up? And as I go to scan their IDs so I can give them a wristband, I scan their IDs. And as I put their wristbands on, I'm shaking. I was so nervous, y'all. Like, this is so embarrassing. This is why I can't do anything with like attractive men ever, because I was literally shaking. Like, so I tried to put their wristbands on super fast because I was like, fuck, they can't see that I'm shaking. Maybe I can just tell them I have like low blood sugar or something. And then I don't know. I was like, well, it was good to see you guys. Like, have fun at the event. And I sent them up to the event. So the check-in was on the first floor. The event was on the 8th and the 9th floor. So the 8th floor is like our pool, was the pool deck, and the 9th floor was kind of like a lounge area. So I was like, have fun, press floor 9. And after they left, my heart is racing, pounding, beating out of my chest. Like I was freaking the F out, bruh. So we're getting towards the end of the event, and I was like, okay, check in. We're going to tear it down. Like they're going to close the event in about 30 minutes. So let's head upstairs and start cleaning up on like the 8th and the 9th floor where the event is happening. So we get up to the 9th floor, and I see him, and he's looking at some clothes from the vintage market. And I was like, oh, fuck. But I was like, stop being a little puss. I'm sick of being like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Like scared. I'm sick of being scared. Like stop being a puss. Like go. Because maybe he's a puss too. And that's why he didn't text me back. Okay. Double puss does not equal good. Okay. You need one puss, not one non-puss. So I'm going to be the non-puss tonight. Okay. So I walk over to the rack that's kind of close to him that he's shopping at. And I'm like looking at these shirts. Also, I didn't like any of the shirts. They were all men's. But I was like, oh, I'm a vintage girly. I wear t-shirts that are for men. Not really. So I'm looking, and he comes to a rack like right next to me. So finally I was like, Serena, fucking say something. Stop it with this little scaredness. It's just a person. So finally I turned to him and I was like, did you find anything good? And he was like, oh, hey. He's like, yeah, I got this and this. And he's like showing me what he got. And I'm sorry. Maybe I'm fucking delusional, but I swear there's a little twinkle in his eye when he looks at me, okay? And every time that we talk, he's always smiling, okay? And I just feel like that means something, okay? Because then when I turned to talk to Mike, he was kind of just like, yeah, I got this, like very monotone, very like meh, you know? But then when I talked to Jordan, he's like, you know, I could be delusional, but I'm going to take that as he likes me, okay? So as we're talking, he was like, so like, what are your plans tonight? Like, what are you doing after this? And I was like, what? What are my plans? You want to know what my plans are? You want to know what I'm doing tonight, Jordan? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like we have to clean up, and that usually takes about 30 minutes after. I know a couple people might go out to like downtown or whatever, but you know. And he was like, oh yeah, like we don't usually come to this area. So like, what are like some good spots to go to? And he's like asking me like bars or whatever. It was his way of asking like, what was I doing? And I kind of deflected again. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like some people are going out, but I think I'm just going to stay and clean. Like my flirting game just ain't it, bro. But I felt like if he asked what I was doing that night, like that means something, right? And so I was just like, yeah, I don't know, like, whatever. I was like, what are you guys doing tonight? And he's like, I don't know, we're trying to figure it out. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, like, I'll let you know. You guys will be disappointed to know that I did not end up going out with him that night because I don't know what happens in my brain. I guess I just get, like, nervous, and I didn't want to say anything. I was waiting for him to, like, come up to me at the end of the night and be like, so, like, where are we going to go? And I was just like really busy on cleaning the event, and I would kind of like see him and we'd look at each other, and then I would like go to pick up more trash. And I was hoping he was going to come up to me and be like, where do you want to go? He never did that. So then they ended up fucking leaving, and we didn't do anything. And I was sad, okay? But you know damn well I called Mary immediately and I said, guess who showed up to my event tonight? You will not effing guess, Gary. I just thought it was crazy. I was like, he's at my event, at my place of work. Like, Gary, what's going on here? Sorry, I'm going to try to be a little more casual. I'm like hunched over because I'm so like, let me tell you about this. But let's like cash it up. Let's cash it up, guys. I'm going to sit back. After this, we see him very casually at the club. We just see him working, whatever. We'll like say hi and nothing happens. Most of the time, I'll go to the club and I won't even say anything to him because I'm too nervous. Like, what? Like, okay, somebody before said a crush is just a lack of information, and that is so true. I think because this man is like kind of mysterious and I don't really know like if he likes me or not, and I don't really know him as a person, I'm like, I want it. I want it. So where do we get into the part where I embarrass myself? Well, we're about to talk about it. If I haven't already embarrassed myself enough just by being a little puss-wuss and not doing anything to like take initiative with this man, yeah, let's get into it. Also, I feel like that looks like scary having it all dark back there. So let me go turn a light on. Let's make it a little more friendly, inviting in this area. And I do for you, girl. Love like a little, yeah. Oh, girl, that is way better. The vibe is like inviting, warm, friendly, like come drink a cup of Joe in here, baby. we're going to get into the part of the story where you guys might get a lot of secondhand embarrassment, okay? I'm warning you now, okay? Trigger warning, I have no game, all right? We are now months past the first time that I have met this man, okay? It is now, I want to say November, okay? And I met him in July. So the crush is still, it's alive and well, but I was already at the point where like I'd kind of had some other interests, like other people I was talking to. It was kind of on the back burner, whatever. But every time I do see him, it's like my heart flutters and I'm like, oh my God, it's him. This night, you guys, this night. It's always the nights that I least expected, okay? So Arizona Fashion Week was hosting an event at our venue, basically. So a lot of us got free tickets to a lot of their events. And it could be like a dinner, an after party, whatever. So I got 2 tickets, one for me and one for a +1, to a dinner and an after party with Arizona Fashion Week. And so I was like, who am I going to bring? Of course, Mary, all right? And this dinner was on a Sunday night. And it wasn't really a dinner. It was more like cocktails and mixer type of thing. And so we got all dressed up. I had this cute little blue dress that I wore. I'll insert a picture here if I have it. She didn't have work the next day. I didn't have work the next day because working in events, a lot of times we work on the weekends. So you get like Monday, Tuesday off. So I didn't have work the next day. It's always these nights where we're like, we don't have work the next day. Let's get crazy. That things go awry. All right. We go to this event. We're mixing. We're mingling. Everything was on the house. They had Wagyu cheeseburgers. They had old fashions. They had champagne. They had wine. And you know damn well I tried all of them. Okay. So this little cocktail mixer started at 6 and went until like 10:30. And we were there for like 3 hours. Like we were having a good time. We were mingling. We were meeting designers. We were taking pictures. Like it was just fun. So 10 o'clock hits and we give each other a look. Me and Mary are like, this cannot be the end. This is not where it ends. And so we were like, do we go out? And throughout the night, we had met this promoter. He was like, come to this club, blah, 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 end of the night in Old Town in Scottsdale, okay? So we're like, all right. And we loved him. He was silly, goofy. Like, we got along with him real well. And so he was telling us to come to this club that night, that Arizona Fashion Week was going to be like hosting the club or whatever. I don't really know, but they were going to have a big after party at this club. So Mary and I look at each other like, let's go to the after party. Like, this will be fun. We don't have work in the morning. Let's get crazy and goofy. So we end up going to Old Town after this little cocktail mixer thingy, and we go to the clubs. Arizona Fashion Week treated us well, okay? Because everybody at this little cocktail mixer kind of got you recognize people once you showed up at the club. You were like, oh, I saw them there. So we're at the first club and we're like dancing, whatever. Mary and I go to the bathroom and this lady like turns to me and hands me a shot from her table. And I was like, oh, no. Like I'm going to the bathroom. She's like, take it in the bathroom, girl. I was like, you're right. So I took it in the bathroom. We got a little table. We were up on the table, dancing, vibing, feeling ourselves. And all of a sudden, Mary gives me a look. Mind you, we're at the top of a table at this club and she gives me a look. And I was like, I knew immediately because I know her. She knows me. We are interconnected, whatever. Like we are the same person. She gives me a look and immediately in my mind, I was like, Jordan's right behind me. Jordan's right behind me. She goes, Serena, oh my fucking God, turn around. Jordan's behind you. I turn and Jordan is walking into the club. Oh, whoa, Nelly. I freaked out again. I was like, girl, oh my God, are you kidding? So we run. I was like, let's go to the bathroom. I can't handle this. Because also I was so drunk. Like I was drunk this night. Okay. I was drunk. All right. And I was so turned. I was like, we need to go to the bathroom so I can like calm down. Cause I can't talk to him in this state. Like I'm too lit. We walk out of the bathroom and I was like, let's just go to the bar and let me get a water because I need to calm the F down if we see him. So we go to the bar and I'm standing there about to get my water and Mary and I are kind of like turned facing the bar. And all of a sudden from behind us, we hear, oh my God, hey guys. We turn around and it's Jordan. And this next part's going to be a little blurry because I was very drunk. So a lot of this is Mary telling me like what I said or just me recalling little things. But so I turn around and I was like, oh my God, hi, I didn't know idea you were here. Okay. Really, I'm really good at playing dumb. Okay. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe it's really obvious. And he's like, this bitch really saw me walk in and ran to the bathroom right when I walked in. Like, so Anyways, we get to talking to him, and I'll save all the little details, whatever. But long story short, by the end of the night, Mary, being the wing woman that she is, she asked Mr. Jordan at the end of the night if he could drive us to her car. Because she had parked very, very, very far. Mary was the DD. She convinces him to drive her and I to her car. So we're walking his car, and I'm like giddy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get in Jordan's car. Like, what? And as we're walking to his car, Mary looks at me and she's like, get in the front, get in the front, get in the front. And I was like, oh my God, no, like I'm scared. And it's because I have this whole thing in my mind where I'm like, if somebody doesn't like me, I don't want to like force it upon them. And I still don't know if he likes me. I literally don't know because I can't read this man. So I was like, no, I don't want to like get in the front and be all like, That's what my brain thinks, okay? So she was like, Serena, get in the front. She's like fighting with me at his car, being like, get in the front, get in the front. Finally, I was like, no. And I jumped in the back of the car. So we get in his car, and we're both sitting in the back of his car, bro. He was like a goddamn Uber, all right? And now I realize that it was stupid, but in the moment I was scared, okay? All right? So that's embarrassing thing number one, all right? I got in the back of his car. He sat in the back. Nobody sat in the front because I was too scared. Then I really had to pee. I had to pee really bad. And he was very kind, and he was like, oh, let's find you a place to pee. But it's also 3 a.m., so everywhere is closed. So he parked by this random alley, and I was like, oh, I need toilet paper. And he's like, I got you. He had like some napkins in his dashboard, and I was like, thank you, sir. So I go into this random alley. I do my thing. It was very scary. If I was not drunk, I would be terrified because it was really dark, a lot of dark corners that people could have been hiding in, and, yeah. So I come back, I get in the car, and we're just like chatting, okay? Well, and the thing, Mary told me that when I left to go pee, I like went around the corner, which he thought I was going to stay like close. And he was like, why did you go around the corner? I wanted to be able to like keep an eye on her. Like, it's dark, it's scary. And of course I was like, oh my God, he said that? Literally just being a calm, like decent human, but whatever. So I get back in his car and we're chatting. We're chatting. And I'm probably saying some dumb shit. And by we're chatting, I mean Mary and him are chatting because I am so like in awe. She was like, Serena, you were literally sitting there with like googly eyes, like, just drunk, like, oh my God, nah, nah, nah. So finally, y'all, this is where we get to the point where this is why I don't have a boyfriend, you guys, okay? I can't talk to men like this. So he turns around and he asks, we were like talking about music and all this good stuff. And then finally he was like, well, it's like getting kind of late. But he was like, I mean, you guys, like, do you guys smoke? And we were both kind of like, no, like we only just drink. And he's like, oh, like, honestly, we could go back to my place and like I have some like weed and some alcohol. And we have a pool too. We could go swim. And so he was like, yeah, we can just go hang at my place if you want. Like we could just go chill there. And guys, so Mary looks at me and she's like, Serena, this is your moment. This is your moment. And you know what I said? I was so drunk. I don't even remember saying this. Mary had to remind me that I said this because I didn't answer his question. I looked at him after he invited us to his home and I said, you look like a PBS character. What? Guys, what? A PBS character, like Sesame Street or Sid the Science Kid. I never even really watched PBS. I was a Disney kid. And he was kind of just like, who? Like, what character? And I was like, I don't know. Just a PBS character. I can't put my finger on it, but you do. You remind me of a PBS character. That's how I answered him when he invited me to his place. And of course, Mary was like, well, I want to go home. Like, I need to, she's got a man's. Like, she must be home with her man's. But she was like, you guys can go. Like, Serena, you can go to his place. And she said I literally just, like, didn't answer. And I would answer, like, different questions and avoid it. So he probably thinks that I don't even like him. Like, I don't know what was going through my brain, you guys. I really wish I could figure out, like, what I was thinking or, like, what my brain process was. Because if I was sober, yes, 1,000 times yes. Let's go in the pool. Let's go drink. Let's whatever. I don't smoke, but maybe I'll smoke that night. I don't know. Yes. But no, I told him he looked like a fucking Sesame Street character. Like, are you kidding? A PBS character? I still can't even think of which one I thought he looked like because he doesn't look like any of them. And at that point, I think he was kind of annoyed. He was like, all right, where is your car? Like, it's time to go. Time to go. That's how I ended it. I was in the back of his car. I was so close and I blew it. I blew it every time. I blew it at the door there. I blew it the day that we were at the vintage market. I blew it in the back of his car. Like, I really just, I don't know what's going on up here. Like my brain goes dum dum mush mush when I see him. Okay. It's like a fully grown, like hard ass peeled potato. And then when I see him, it's a full on like mashed potato, extra butter, extra garlic, hold the salt. Cause I'm trying to, low sodium. Like it's actually so frustrating. And when we got back into Mary's car, immediately when we shut the door and got in her car, she was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? That was your moment. And I just bursted out in tears. I was like, I don't know why I did that. I started bawling. I started bawling. And yeah, because probably because I had a lot of tequila that night too. But she was like, Serena, like literally everything was handed to you. Like the car ride, like he invited you to his place. Like what? And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm just literally dumb and I can't function around this person. So ever since then, I've seen him like briefly at the clubs and stuff. And like we'll run into each other and he's always friendly, always sweet. But like, I really think I ruined it at that point. I was like, the universe gave me so many chances with him being at my work, like seeing him at the club for the first time, all this stuff. The universe was handing him to me on a platter. And I just kept being like, I can't see the platter. Where's the platter? Like, I'm so dumb, y'all. So, yeah, it is now February of 2024. I've seen him briefly at the clubs, like just working, but at this point, I'm like, I can't even say anything to him. I did see him like a month ago, and he was really nice. But every time I run into him, it's just like word vomit comes out, and I'm like, why did he say that? Like, I think it is though, just because I have a crush, and with crushes, it's like a lack of information, like that one girlie said, and I don't know a lot about him. I really don't. I just know that he's very attractive and he likes Peso Pluma. So the next day, Mary and I met up and we had a little debrief and we were just laughing because I was like, at this point, it's comical. Like how many chances I've had and how I just have like blown it every time. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on this saga. I'm going to call him Jordan, which now that I think about, I have another close friend named Jordan. So that's kind of weird, but Jordan it is. That's kind of what we went with. So I'll keep you guys updated if anything happens in this saga, but I think I blew it. I really think I blew it. I blew my chances. I just have this thing in my head where I'm like, what if he doesn't like me? What if I'm reading all these signs as like, I'm just delusional, So I don't want to be too forward with things, but then I think I'm being too backward with things. Like I'm pulling back too much where he's like, this girl does not like me. Like imagine you invite somebody over to your house and they tell you look like a PBS character. What? I would be so butthurt. I would never talk to that person again. I'd be like, they don't like me. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just like, I'm really bad at flirting, y'all. When I really like somebody, I get nervous. Okay. If I don't like a guy, I'll talk with him all night long. I will have the longest conversations with him. I'll be laughing. I'll be cackling. But the minute I like you, I'm like, I go mute. I really go mute. So this is a long ass story. And I also want to say Mary has been with me almost every time I have seen him. So she has seen this saga play out and we just giggle about it every time because she's like, this is a movie, Serena. Like this is a movie. Every time you see him or every time you run into him, I'm like, I know. And I don't know what to do because I need this movie to either end or like chapter 2, part 2, whatever we need to do because chapter 1 was rough. Okay. Let's figure out what's going on. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, whatever. Like, it's funny. If something happens, great. But if not, that's why I can tell the internet. Because before I was like, I want to talk about this, but like, what if something happens? Bitch, you called him a PBS character. Nothing's happening. Sorry. So yeah, y'all. If you've ever been embarrassed in your life, don't be. Just think about what I did, okay? So I know this is a really long episode, and I feel like I have so much more I want to talk about. It's just in my life in general, but this story needed its full 50-minute, hour-long explanation because it's just so funny now. It's so goofy. But I know, I'm laughing about it now, but I know damn well if he walked in this door right now, I'd be like, so yeah, it's cray. It's cray how everything has gone down. And Arizona is very small, okay? Arizona is teeny, tiny, weeny, all right? if you guys have any embarrassing stories about your crush, let me know so I don't feel as bad, okay? I mean, I really don't feel bad at this point. I think it's funny, but I just am really coming to the realization that I have no, like, if I really, really like you, I have no game. Like, I get so goddamn nervous. I don't know how to act, you know? So yeah. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed, just hearing me and my dilemmas, okay? Because we all got them. We all got to go through them. So I love y'all. Thank you for watching.